Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 75. 75. That's halfway between 50 and 100, so we're doing well. Brady, good evening. How are you?
Good, my friend. Trying to stay warm in these cooler Wellington temperatures. Not quite the frost and snow that down south is about to get, but hey,
that's true. And on the day that the central heating at work packs it in, and
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hoping to stay warm this weekend, if anything.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it was sunny. It was sunny last weekend. Did you get out and play a little bit, throw a couple frisbees?
I threw a couple of frisbees at Hosker. Yeah, that's right. We had 2 championship rounds, and I subsequently lost my number 5 tag, and went down to 25. So that was fun. So I'm challenging anyone now. I don't care. Just anybody, anyone in an attempt to move up. Anyway, right. We've got a great show for you today. First up, we've got hot scores from around the country. Are the very cold, but people are still getting out. There's still some great scores going on. And then we've got Andrew Fleming. The list of accolades and titles that man has is endless. We'll get onto that shortly. And then we're going to go through some upcoming events. Had a bit of criticism recently about not having all of the events in the calendar, but I'm hoping that having a calendar refresh done has fixed at least the majority of those. And we've also got some picks for Icebreaker, which is coming up this weekend. One day down in Dunedin. I say little, there's 70 odd players, so I mean it's not little by any stretch. Anyway, let's kick it off. Hot scores starting down south in Invercargill. Hayden Edgley hits -14 at Queen's Park. So fantastic score by Hayden. Well done to him. In Dunedin, it's Maz who shoots 5 under par at Chingford. And over at Brockville, local Tom McKay hits 6 under par. Over at the Gardens in Queenstown, and it's Jack Halliday who hits 10 under par. And up at Tucker Beach, it's always sunny there, and Caleb hits 3 under par at Tucker Beach. Hosting the Tucker Beach Rush later on this month, so it's going to get a lot busier in the coming weeks. Over to Lismore, and Andy Clune knocks a 12 down in Wanaka, and at Ely Point, Andy Clune is at it again with 3 down, so locking out Wanaka. Andy playing in Icebreaker this weekend. Jelly Park, it's Dwayne Fisher who hits 13 under par. And over at Queen's Park Reserve, it's Gary O'Brien who hits 6 down. Over at Brooker Ave, Sergei Sanin and Jay Watkinson tie for 7 under par. And Taylor River up in Blenheim, it's Dave Nash who hits 5 under par. Brady takes through the north.
Through the north, as ever, let's start here in the capital in the hills. Berhampore. Sweet Chain Zone, Francis Orange comes in at 7 under par, taking out the hot round this week. Over to the foreshore, we have a 3-way tie with Chris Houston, Emil Scott, and Parker coming in at -2. Up at Harcourt Park, Mitch Hudson's the one getting it done, -7 this week. That's 2 weeks. He is just heating up this winter. Up in the Manawatu, let's go to Linkletter Reserve, and Arthur Graham coming in at -6. Topor, Spa Park, Lakeside, Chris Kelly comes in at +3 on the red course. Over in Taranaki on the foreshore, massive shout out to Amy Whitmore and Devin Taylor, -3. I believe Amy's one of the first women we've had on for hot scores. So shout out to her. Scion Tree Nursery, Chris comes in at -4.
Probably his name.
Yeah, well, put a last name on there, have more than just your PDGA number, maybe a photo, and we'll believe it's real. In Hastings, Flaxmere, it must be getting cold up in the Hawke's Bay. We have one player, and that one player is Glenn Mulder coming in at +1 for the hot round this week. Nice shooting way to get out there in these winter months. And then we'll go up to the Big Smoke. Let's go to Auckland and Henderson. Will Keno and Richard Watterson coming in at -9 for the 18 at Henderson. And on Woodhill Red, Vinnie Wilson coming in at -8 to round out the North Island.
Fantastic. So some scores, some very good scores coming through, and some lots of golf being played up and down the country. Some more golf, some sanctioned golf being played this weekend in Icebreaker in Dunedin. And so, talking of Dunedin, we've got right. Let me get this right. The chairman of Dunedin Disc Golf, the communications director of New Zealand Disc Golf, the interim chair of New Zealand Disc Golf, the current MA1 Tour Champion, and of course, member of Team Sweet Chain, Andrew Fleming. So, good evening, Andrew. How are you?
G'day, Matt. G'day, Brady. Hopefully, we're all working now. I've had some technical difficulties. You forgot my most important title. Big lover of pigs. Big lover of Innova pigs. That's my most important.
I'm glad you clarified. And yes. Well, excellent. We'll add that onto the list. Where should we start? Should we start with Icebreaker this weekend? Talk us a little bit about this, because you've been involved in the organisation of this little series of events. So tell us a little bit more about it.
So the idea of the series is to just get more tournaments happening around Dunedin for the locals. For the most part, we have one flagship event, the Highlander, and it's a very, very difficult course. Mm-hmm. So we want to get more of locals getting out playing. We've got a whole lot more coming through with our new Brockville course, as well as Chingford, which has always been popular. So it was an idea that was probably come around last year from Tom, and then we've had some awesome people help get the idea over the line. TD Errol for the first tournament is probably the main reason it's going ahead.
Fantastic. And are these you've picked? You've got 3 courses that are all kind of pop-ups, or are you swinging by the regular stops? So
they're all new courses. They're all going to be pop-ups on 9-hole ball golf courses, stick golf courses, normal golf course. So yeah, we approached all those courses around Dunedin because they tend to be the ones that are struggling for a bit of membership and wouldn't mind a bit of extra income. And we 4 of them got back to us with positivity, and therefore things have gone very smoothly from there.
Excellent.
Will you guys be using? I know Dunedin has a like rent a basket program, right? Will you guys be using those for the tournaments?
Yep. So last year, and one of the reasons we bought 9 disc mates last year for the club, and we've been renting them out to members. So one of the reasons we did buy them was so we could hold tournaments like this. So tomorrow and the next day, we'll be going around to a couple places and picking up those baskets for the weekend, and then returning them back to the people that are currently renting them from us.
So you've had to be pretty busy then in designing 3 courses, right? Or just from scratch, pretty much.
Well, it's good as we've got a few people on the team for this series. So the first course has been designed and mostly run by Errol. The second one, the Winter Classic, Wayne's running that, and I've come in to design that and help PD the event. Then we've got Mr. Jack Maffey, and Mark Tibbett as well, part of the team that will help do the last 2 events as well. So when you've got so many people volunteering, it's a lot easier to put on events.
Absolutely.
And how is that as a chair of Dunedin Club, trying to like wrangle all of the cats, as it were, to like get these over the line? So have they stuck up? Like, have you had to like crack the whip at all, or is everyone, you're just kind of making sure everything's pointed in the right direction?
I think for the most part, I've been pretty good that people have been standing up for things like this, and it was one of the reasons I was able to stand for the New Zealand Disc Golf Board, is because Dunedin Disc Golf's in a very good position. So I could take my hands off a wee bit in a couple of areas. I'm not needed to run all the things. We've got some amazing people on the committee that do a lot more than I do, to be honest. So
have you got any? Sorry, Brady, go on.
Nah, go ahead.
I was going to say, out of the 3 events that you've got where you've designed the course, have you got have you got a particular favorite? Is it the one like the one you designed, or what's
my one's going to be favorite? Obviously, it's something I take with a lot of pride. Well, it's something I'm really interested in. So when I watch the professionals play disc golf, I don't watch how well they're playing. I watch how the course is designed. That's what interests me. So the one this weekend at the Icebreaker has got some amazing terrain. It's effectively on one of the side hills around the harbour. So there's a lot of terrain changes there, which, it makes some beautiful holes. The course I've got out at Otaco golf course is more of a link style course, so it's a bit more flat. So it was important to me to let people be able to throw the disc. At Chingford, it's a shorter course. Brockville's a wee bit longer, but I've really let people unleash. There's hardly any out of bounds at the course that I've designed, and then letting people throw and have fun, because that's what the series is about, is throwing and having fun at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's still going to be a very tough course.
And so, like you talked about, like that Dunedin's allowed you to kind of, let go of the reins a little bit, and they can kind of handle themselves, like what's, tell us a little bit about NZDG, like congratulations, first of all, on, being elected communications chair, but also interim chair, like what's going on in that realm of the world, as it were.
Yeah, so we got elected 15 days ago now. So we had our first board meeting a few days ago, and we're slowly getting things underway. A lot of it's getting a lot of the emails and such over to the new board. So at the moment, I've just had a couple technical difficulties today, but I'm trying to set up the special general meeting, because we do need a couple more board members to really function correctly. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow, there'll be a email going out, giving a notice for the special general meeting. And I encourage anyone that thinks they have something to contribute and could potentially be a chairperson, treasurer, or secretary for the board, to really apply for it, please.
Excellent. So tomorrow I'll have more details in when that meeting's going to be.
Absolutely.
And presumably it'll have more details also about if people are interested, how they get involved.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, all the details will be on that. It's the same process that we've just had for the annual general meeting. But, change the annual to a special, and that's about it.
So do you get like a gold star this time? Is that how it works?
A gold star. I didn't get a gold star. I'm not going to be giving anyone gold stars.
Well, if you're out there and you're wondering, I'd love to be involved, and I'd love to contribute and to do more within the NZDG community. Then of course you can go and watch our previous episodes where we did cover all the different board positions and had a little bit of information on each one of them and what would be involved. So head over to our YouTube channel while you're there, hit the subscribe and like button, and check out the previous videos, and support New Zealand Disc Golf. We'll be keen to hear from any prospective candidates, and also from and we'll be following the process through as we did previously. Excellent. Right. So
well, no, I want to ask Andrew, you came in, we gave you the big introduction, like in heaps of accolades and trophies and titles and, like things on the lapel. Like, which one of these means the most to you?
I guess a big thing for me in the last year was probably my number one goal. I'm a competitor at heart. I've always played sport since I was about 5. Football for 13 or so years, table tennis for going on 13 now probably as well. So winning the Advanced Tour Championship effectively over the last year was something that I really tried to do. I knew it was within my capabilities. And so I went out, I played some tour events, I played some really good ones, and eventually I played enough and was consistent enough to win the tour. So I was very stoked with that.
And so winning the tour versus like winning nationals, like did you come up to Wellington with like, that high hopes of taking out both this year?
I would have if I could have. I think in the end I was actually isolating when nationals was on, so I wouldn't have made it anyway. But nationals, in my opinion, would be a lot more important than winning a tour event or the tour combined series. So I'm hoping it's in Invercargill next year. It's Invercargill's where I'm from. I know some of the course that will be played pretty well. I tend to play well last couple of years as well, so I'm hoping to put in a good effort next year.
But will you be MA1 or will you be stepping up to NPA?
That's a good question. It's something I've been thinking about. I want to. Oh, I should have muted my phone. I want to remain amateur. I would like the chance comes up to go to amateur worlds. It would be something I'd be really keen to do. So that means I want to take cash. So potentially at the majors, I'm thinking I might still play advanced because they tend to be the most competitive tournaments in New Zealand, or at least for nationals, and then I'll probably play open for the other events. It will mean that if I do that, my tour points will be split up. But if I do that, it's something that I'll just have to surrender to play and compete for the titles that I want to compete for.
I mean, don't forget that, of course, the winner and runner-up of nationals this year both forgo cash to remain amateurs for exactly the reasons that you're saying. So, I mean, it wouldn't be done. It wouldn't be something that hasn't been done before if you did step up to NPO. Notice you're playing NPO this weekend.
Yes, we set since it's more of a aim for the locals, and we just wanted a couple divisions. We said if you're over 900 rated, we'd like you to play open. So the people, the locals can be a bit more competitive in their event instead of having some person like me potentially coming in at 930-ish rated and giving them not much of a chance for the lower ones. Obviously, some people, just a decision at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's I think personally I think that's a really good idea, and I think I think New Zealand Disc Golf needs a bit more of that. I noticed a post earlier on in the week from Mike Foley, who set out some a kind of a provisional idea about what he felt that the ratings divisions should be. They weren't as low as that. Weren't as low as 900 for MPO, and for regular tour events, I think that's probably a bit low. But yeah, I think for what you're trying to achieve down in Dunedin, I think that's probably spot on, and puts a good break point. Puts a good break point in for people. Excellent. So you've got So let me get this right. I just want to for anyone who's listening, we've got Icebreaker this weekend.
Yep.
And then what are the next two?
We've got Midwinter Classic. That's August the 13th.
Yep.
Cold Snap Open, I want to say, is 2 weekends after that, so the end of August. Yep. And then last one, which will be the final meltdown. I don't think we've publicised the date. I think we may have set it by now with that one a bit later in the communication with the golf club, so I'm not quite sure of the date for that.
Okay, so if you're not playing Icebreaker this weekend, you can get involved in the Midwinter Classic and the Cold Snap Open later in August, and we look forward to that. Have you got any picks for us for this weekend? Who do you think's gonna play particularly well?
Me. I always say, when people ask me who's going to play well, I say myself. If you're not backing yourself, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
So I've been I haven't really been playing as much this year, but on uni break, I've had a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty much playing every day, and I'm starting to feel pretty good. Tom Mackay, obviously a local, he has helped out with the setup a wee bit, so he does know the course a wee bit very well, and he's just very, very consistent, very good. And of course, you got your two big names coming up from Invercargill, your 2 stouts. I think it will suit Levi better, I think, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Right. Now, you've been on the show a couple of times now, more as a co-host than a guest, and you haven't done Desert Island Disc Golf yet. So we're gonna crack into that. For anybody who's not familiar with this segment of the show, Andrew is stranded on a desert island. He is fortunately. There is a disc golf course on this desert island, and he's been stranded with 3 discs and 3 card mates. The discs can be any 3 discs he likes, and his card mates can be real or fantasy, people he knows, or seasoned pros, or another group of people that he wants in as well. I forget how it goes now. Anyway, let's kick off with the discs. What have you got? What are you throwing?
Well, I don't. Currently being in Invercargill, I don't have my full collection with me at the moment, so that made my decisions a wee bit easier. But obviously, the first thing I needed in my bag was a pro pig, or just a pig of some sort. So this one, very puddle top. This is my first pig that I got 2.5 years ago at the Heislander when it was the national championships, and it's been in my bag since then. So my favourite thing to do with it is when I throw my forehands, I can put it on hyzer and it can flip and turn. And there's not many forehand discs and forehand putters that can flip and turn. So I can attack holes.
Flip and turn on a forehand either.
And that's the good thing about the plastic though. It beats it nice and quickly. So I tend to, if I could, I'd probably bag 4 or 5 pigs. I've now got a Sockybot Slammer in there as well.
Yes. I was having this conversation with someone today, and they swore blind it wasn't a replacement for the pig, but I love that slammer. But anyway, this is yours. The pig. Tell us more.
The slammer's
so how many do you bag now?
It depends on the course. I think I could bag 4, and then plus the slammer, so that's 5 if I've got the room. 5 would be help, and that would probably have to be a shorter course. I could probably get away with 4 or 3 or 4 on a longer course. But this thing, the problem with pro is some come out domey, and I'm not quite sure. I'm not into the physics and everything, but I had a domey pig once, and I was getting a bit of wobble out of it. I couldn't quite get the same smooth release. The discs that always come flat are your Tour Series Pro discs, and they're a bit more expensive, which is a shame. I now will bag 2 or 3 Ricky Wysocki ones from various years, and I've just got a Bradley Williams one as my fresh one that's nice and overstable. So yeah, the most important thing to me is how flat they are. If they're flat, maybe slightly domey or puddle top works fine. That's the disc, and it would be. I didn't bring another putter, but it's so unstable. I think it would still putt pretty fine.
Excellent. Okay. What else have we got?
This is my first run RPM Kutuku. So this one I picked up at Christchurch Fling in 2019. I want to say it was when the Kutuku came out. This was when they were first available. Was at the tournament. And the first run of Kutuku came out nice and stable. So I would have said its point numbers were about 5503 potentially. And what that meant is it's a bit more torque resistant. So I can throw this on forehands. I do quite like throwing it on kind of a flex forehand at times for something a bit more glidey than a Justice that I bag or a pig. And I really like its how I can manipulate it in different ways. So it complements the flippy pig well, this one being a bit more overstable, but still would be able to get 80, 90 meters out of it now. It's beat in a bit now too, which is good.
Fantastic.
I love my I've got 2 in the bag. Would have potentially more if I could. And then
what else we got?
I've gone for the Pro Wraith. Now if I had all my discs with me, I would have potentially considered my Cloudbreaker one, because I like to show off my Cloudbreaker one. There's not many of those around in New Zealand. Before they all blow up, they said on Disc Shop. Oh, I should have a different competitor, but they said for weeks these Cloudbreaker ones for about $35, and no one wanted them, and that would not happen in today's environment. So I'm pretty proud of it, so that I managed to get one. Anyhow, back to the Wraith. I currently bag 3 Wraiths. They tend to be all my flippy distance drivers, but this Wraith is the most manipulative. I can manipulate this the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatively straight. So on a back end, I can put this on a hyzer. I can get it up to flat and then to turn a wee bit, a bit of a max distance shot. Same for my forehand, pretty much max distance, flipping up and getting some turn and stuff out of that. So at the end of the day, when you've only got 3 discs, you want a disc you can manipulate, and with the straight, I can get all sorts of hyzers, anisers, and straight shots with it.
Excellent. Good choice of 3 discs. Very wide choice of shots you've got for your desert island round. Who's going to be joining you?
Well, I can't say I put as much thought into that one because it's a lot more difficult, to be honest. I don't have not really a people to choose from. I think the first one, my favourite pro is Paul Ulibarri. I just agree with a lot of things he says. One of my favourite podcasts on course design he was in, him and Brian Earhart on the Flight Diary. And when I think about course design all the time, so since he talked about it, I like him. I think that may be the reason I started liking him, which is kind of funny. We play a similar game. I do love how he just rips his backends through the woods. He's a very clever woods player with his nukes. And I think he knows a lot. And at the end of the day, all pro players, I think, like to talk about disc golf, but it's one of the reasons I picked him, because he'd have some good chat.
Yeah, he'd have a good chat, I think. Yeah, agree.
For my other 2, I started playing in 2017. So I watched a lot of 2016 and 2017 disc golf. And at the time, there was only 2 names to be considered, Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth. And I think for that reason, I look up to them way more than anyone else. And therefore, they would fill my 2 other spots on the card.
Excellent.
Probably,
yes, I mean,
all time, in my opinion.
I think a few people argue, and you know, that would be a tremendous card, and you could probably get Ricky to throw his pig again, and he'd be able to show you exactly what to do. Exactly.
And I'll make big tour, of course.
Excellent. Right. We're now going to crash into the Sweet Chain Quickfire 18. We've got first is the family-friendly front 9. 9 questions, same each week to each guest, and then a safari back 9, different questions for each guest each week. So we're going to kick off. What's your name?
Andrew.
Where were you born?
In Invercargill.
Where do you live now?
Dunedin.
Your PDGA number?
131257.
How many years have you been playing?
5.
Your favourite course?
Paradise.
Your favourite disc?
Pig.
Your favourite MPO player?
Ulibarri.
And your favourite FPO player?
I love an escape, so Kona Panis.
Good work. Brady, take us through the back.
Let's start with sweet or savory.
Savory.
Instagram or Snapchat.
Instagram.
Kotari or Flamingo.
Oh, I'm going to hurt the boys' feelings here. I'm going to have to go for
Table tennis or ping pong.
Table tennis.
Dunedin or Invercargill.
Invercargill.
Lose your sense of touch or lose your sense of taste.
Sense of touch.
Big putt or long drive?
Big putt.
North Island champion or South Island champion?
South Island champion.
And national champion or tour points champion?
Champion.
Wow.
National champion it is.
Next year.
Look, next year. We're looking forward to it. We're absolutely looking forward to it. Look, thank you, Andrew, for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you for your information with regards to the SGM. So we'll look out for some communications by the end of tomorrow from you. Yeah, we'll look forward to having a read of that. So yeah, check that out.
Sweet as. Cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers. See you soon.
Cheers. Thanks, Andrew.
Whew, there we go, Brady. Hang on. Let's get the other way around. Whoa, there we are. Indeed. So always good to catch up with Andrew. Obviously we know him very well. He's on Team Sweet Chain, so we get to know him a little bit better, and now hopefully everybody else knows him a little bit better than they did before. And you know, as the communications director, we're you know, because we know Andrew, we're very confident that he's going to be very good at stepping into that communication spot and keeping us all informed of how things are going. And you'll see him at all of the events in Dunedin over the next couple of weeks. Let's jump into the Icebreaker, which is coming up this weekend. We'll just quickly get the field up on the screen so we can see who's playing. Brady, do you have any picks for us this weekend? You've had a look at the entries for this weekend. Who do you think is going to do well?
I have had a look, and I kind of have to agree with Andrew. I think the Stout brothers are going to play really well. I unfortunately think that Ethan is going to take it out this week and not Levi.
Okay, all right.
Not like it's going to be a battle. I'm looking forward to it. I would argue that Levi's kind of got a chip on the shoulder, and you know, like got something to prove, and maybe it's going to be the calm, collected, like cool Ethan who's going to pull it out in the end. But yeah, you know, like we'll see. I'm really excited to see the Stout boys battle it out again. Brenly's a nice little secret, you know, like weapon, a little dark horse action going on from Invercargill. I've seen him play really well in the past. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I think Andrew talked about it right. You know, like this is about growing Dunedin. So I honestly really want to see how those local boys are going to stand up. Like, yeah, you can say what you want about people coming in, the Stouts, Andy Clune, Brenly, you know, but heaps of Dunedin players there, heaps of Invercargill players. So it'll be good to kind of see players kind of off the radar, on the fringes of the national radar, start to kind of creep in. We'll see if people can throw a wrench into those power rankings and how they'll come out.
Absolutely.
How about you? Who do you got picked for this weekend?
So, picked for this weekend, the data analytics team tell me that it's going to be a Levi, Ethan, Tom McKay, top 3 in that order. But they've also told me to keep an eye on Trent Hogg. And the reason why is in the last 3 one-day events that he's played, he's finished 11th, 6th, and 5th. So let's not completely discount it. So a little bit of form going into the one days, not so much in the 2 days, but certainly in the one-day events has played very well. So best of luck to Trent going into Icebreaker. Let's just have a quick squiz at the ladies division. The ladies division not going to be incredibly competitive. I think it's going to be very close between all 9 ladies.
Should be pretty good, though. I don't know. Can he really go past Mama Stout?
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for people to catch her. But certainly Eilish, when she's on form, is capable of doing that. Don't know too much about Helena, but we'll obviously keep an eye on that division very closely. It's going to be incredibly competitive. Right, where are we going to go now? I suppose we ought to have a look at some of the upcoming events that are on the way. Let's just grab the upcoming events.
Yeah, I was going to say, this list just keeps getting longer. People complain that like there wasn't enough disc golf. And honestly, it seems like, well, one, the South Island is exploding and has like an event every weekend. But honestly, like every fortnight on the North Island, it sounds like there's a big event somewhere as well.
People were also complaining that we didn't have all of the events on this page. So we have done our best to try and include them all. What I don't have is the date for the final one of the Dunedin series on here yet, because that was only really announced in the comments section tonight. So we'll get that added in. We've got Icebreaker this weekend, Tucker Beach at the end of July. Then it's the women's global event. So the one in Wellington sold out. There's 50 players playing in that event. The players packs arrived last week. They've been kind of packed up. And every time I'm on that messenger chat, there's a picture of something else that's been created specifically for the event. So it's going to be an absolute crackerjack. And there's still spaces available in the Auckland event. So if you're keen, if you're a lady, you want to play some disc golf, get up to Auckland for the Women's Global event on the 6th of August. Contact Charlotte Dunkley for more information there. Then there's the Midwinter Classic in Dunedin on the 13th. The Blood Sacrifice at the Confluence is on the 20th of August. Then the Cold Snap Open the week after on the 28th. The Paul Macbeth Foundation fundraiser is on the 3rd of September. And a little bit of information that came out about 30 seconds before we went live on this from Morgan, which was that the Regio pages for the Macbeth events will be going live very soon. So look out very soon for more information on those, because you'll be able to see those things. If you want to sign up for one, then go for it. They're going to be all over the country, and there's going to be one near you. Tauranga of the week 3 weeks after. Armageddon in Nelson, which sold out in about 20 seconds. You got Topor the week after that. And then the Coastal Classic, which has been rearranged a couple of times, but I think they've settled on the 22nd of October. Page 2, Brady, page 2. On to Waitapu in Lake Ohau on the 28th of October. Fault Line 2 weeks after in the 12th of November. Personally looking forward to that one, as I am also looking forward to South Island Champs, Nationals, and North Island Champs on the 3rd of February, 3rd of March, and 17th of March, respectively.
Yeah, I was going to say Middle Earth Open should come in February there. I'm pretty sure that Christchurch and Dave Rose is planning another Charteris Bay Charge and a Christchurch Fling to come out by the end of the year. I know that those are currently in the works communication-wise. And
Heislander will be in the same sort of time it normally is, sort of, second
January, I believe.
January, yeah. So, although there will be other tournaments that fit in that calendar, that's by no means an exhaustive list. We're putting in the ones of the dates that we know, and if we've missed any, then I'm sure someone will tell us. So a quick look at the power rankings. These haven't changed since after the Coastal Classic and Timaru. So the data analytics team are telling me that Levi Stout and then Ethan Stout in 15th and Tom McKay 17th are going to have good weekends this weekend in the power rankings. Right. Excellent. Bit of a short and sweet tonight. We've got a few things on the go. There's lots of tournaments to look forward to. None in the next couple of weeks apart from this weekend, but and then it's Tucker Beach, and that's always an interesting tournament to pick apart. So we'll look forward to that. Brady, anything else from yourself?
No, I'm looking forward to the announcement of the SGM tomorrow and more information about that. Really happy that they've already had a meeting and things are going forward. Totally. Same here in Wellington. Looking forward to a few more one-day events here on the North Island. So keep an eye out for those. There are some rumblings going on around the Central North. So keep your eyes out. Looks like that calendar is going to get pretty full here pretty quick.
It could well do. It could well do. And I'm glad that it is. It's absolutely fantastic. So wherever you're playing disc golf this weekend, then take it easy. Play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you next week.